Do Arsenal still have some questions to answer after that Wolves game? I mean, I want to speak about the game in this video because there was definitely a few things that I didn't really understand. There's quite a lot of talking points that I definitely think we can have some interesting discussion on. Before we get into it though, just very quickly, do me a favour, hit like on this video. So I want to speak about the game in general, and my impression on the game now is it's a good result. It was a comfortable result in the end. I think the first half, Arsenal, look, it was kind of where we left off last season. There was no trouble. Arsenal seemed dominant. The play, the build out from the back, the central midfield dropping in, receiving the ball, progressing the ball, the Odegaard forward press, just so many things seemed familiar. It was a familiar Arsenal performance. It wasn't anything different. It was just professional, and that's something we've come to know and love from this Arsenal team now. You know, the score was never really in doubt. I think there was a small portion of the second half where maybe people were getting slightly more nervous because we were slightly less dominant on the ball. And I understand that. I never really felt in danger. And when that Bukayo Saka goal went in, it was just, yeah, this is much of the same. Arsenal being professional, getting a result that most people predicted. You know, there are kind of, in the background, some people worrying if Arsenal just had 2 really good seasons and if they can really continue this upward trajectory that this Arsenal team seems to be on. And after a performance like this, it leaves you feeling slightly more comfortable, doesn't it? It makes you think, right, Arsenal are back on track. There's no bedding in period needed. There's not a few games where Arsenal might look ropey. It's not the first game of the season and anything can happen. I never really got that impression. From the first whistle, everybody seemed on point, and that's what I would expect now from this Mikel Arteta team. We see the Mikel Arteta philosophy imprinted in almost all of these players, and the best way to describe that performance from me was professional. I made a list of talking points here. The first one I want to get everyone else's opinion on is, was that Havertz, the strangle on Havertz, a penalty? I'm going to give you my opinion on it, but let me know before we get into this video. Was that foul on Havertz a red card? Did I just say penalty? I don't even know what I'm talking about. Was it a red card? Was that challenge, that strangle on Havertz, a red card? Let me know before we get into this video. So the first talking point I got is the Havertz goal. Like I said, the play early on was good. I've got play good early on. And that's exactly what it was. The play was nice. Havertz goal, 25 minutes in. We need to see this more from Havertz. He's such a big presence. He is tall. He's not massive. He's not wide. But he's such a tall player. So you would be hoping Havertz gets way more headed goals than he currently does. But Saka whips in that left-hand side, that left foot cross, something that we've seen so many times these past couple of seasons. And look, I don't get how there's people out there that are still questioning the ability of Bukayo Saka. I feel to shake them and just say, are you all right? Like, do you understand football? Can you break it down? Not even can you break it. Can you look? Because I don't get the doubt behind Bukayo Saka. There is no doubt, in my opinion, that Bukayo Saka, if he's not already, he will be world class. That whipped cross, my God. I mean, it would have been harder for Havertz to miss that opportunity, in all honesty. It was on a plate for him. It was just very, very good to see. We've seen Saka, like I said, do that so many times. The next talking point I've got, that save from Raya. You know, we've kind of had the discussion a bit of last season, to be honest, that we don't really see those game-winning saves. We don't see those saves from Raya where you expect it to be a goal. It's something that we saw from Ramsdale quite a lot, and it's something that quite a lot of fans were drawn to. We loved that with Ramsdale. The fact that it gave us a chance in moments where it does seem a dead certain goal. And with that save from Raya, it was just so good to see, because I thought it was a goal. When I saw the guy got in front of the defender and headed it, I thought, well, that's a goal. And the fact that he kind of scooped it from behind, it was just really, really good. I hope we can continue to see this from Raya. Now the fact that there was probably had this mind frame from last season. There is zero doubt now in terms of who wears that number 1 shirt for Arsenal. It is definitely Raya. He's the main guy. And I hope he just keeps improving. You know, he's not old. He does still have improvement in him. And if he carries on like that, I still think, you know, he can keep doing exactly that and improving. The next one, Havertz in-air knockdowns. Not just the goal, but the fact he was able to win his aerial duels and just knock it down to someone. It's something that is so simple, but it's something that can help this Arsenal team. You know, if you've got a target man up there that can win the aerial duels, knock it down and continue the play, it just benefits that whole, not even just the forward line, the middle and the forward areas so much. We've seen the areas that Havertz like to drop into. He likes to drop into midfield. And if he's able to win them balls and knock it forward to the forwards, then Arsenal can have more chances at scoring goals. So that's just something that I noticed and I thought, yeah, that's good. Zinchenko, again, look, I just writ Zinchenko good. Early on, I thought Zinchenko was good. I didn't really see any of those suspect moments. Maybe some of you guys will be able to point some out to me, but I just thought, all in all, much like the performance, Zinchenko's performance on the pitch was professional. I thought he was okay. I thought it was the right substitution to make to bring Timber on. And when Timber on, I actually think we saw, was it an improvement? Something different, I will say. An added dimension to that Arsenal, not only defence, but attack as well. Like his tight footwork, his want to get forward and just put pressure in those attacking areas is something that I'm excited to see in the next game. Let me know if I'm seeing this right, but I think Timber should start the next game over Zinchenko. Again, I've writ Zinchenko played well, so it's obviously something that I noticed and something that I want to bring to everyone's attention. I'm sure you guys think it as well. But just seeing Timber in that position made me think, wow, this really is something different to what Zinchenko currently offers. So I'm excited to see how that develops for the left-back position for Arsenal. Let me know if you guys agree. Again, Odegaard leading the press, something we again saw so many times last season. There was some discussion out there that maybe that will change slightly and we will see the number 9 leading the press, maybe whether it be Havertz or Jesus. I think Jesus would probably do it slightly more if he was on, but the fact Havertz was playing and again, Odegaard was leading that press, much of what we saw last season. There was a few tactical differences that we can break down, but yeah, Odegaard leading the press was definitely good to see. And it's just, you know, Odegaard's engine is just so good, especially first game of the season. That guy was relentless. Not only his pressure and his press, but just his ability on the ball. I really think this could be not even necessarily a breakout season for Odegaard, because of course everyone of us Arsenal fans who watch him week in, week out understand how good Odegaard is. But I think this is going to be the season where he turns into that real world-class superstar. And you get all these other teams, fans saying, oh my God, I can't believe how good he is. I think this could be the year where he takes that tag, takes the mantle from Kevin De Bruyne to be the outstanding midfielder in the Premier League. I'm expecting that this season, if I'm being honest. And shown in Odegaard's first game against Wolves, I don't doubt that will happen because he is just incredible. My favourite player to watch. You know, in this Arsenal team, there's always kind of 3 or 4 players that I switch between being my favourite to watch, if I'm being honest. Sometimes it could be a Martinelli or a Saka or an Odegaard or at times Gabriel Saliba. But the way Odegaard plays with such consistency and brilliance that at the minute, if someone asks me who's your favourite Arsenal player to watch, it is Martin Odegaard, because he is just excellence personified. He's so good, so clean in not just his movements, but his footwork, his technical ability. He is just almost a perfect footballer, and I just love watching Odegaard play. No red card on Havertz. So that was my next sort of note that I made, and I am absolutely baffled in how that couldn't be a red card. Like, the guy's basically killed him. Like, he literally strangled him, fell on his neck, held him for another 2 seconds, and then got up. And the ref saw nothing wrong with that. And okay, look, in all, I don't think the ref had a bad game, by the way. So this isn't some kind of hysteria piece and trying to call out the ref. I actually thought the ref played okay. And in terms of VAR, I do think we saw an improvement in how it's used. I don't think we got the play held up. Let me know if you guys noticed it as well. But I don't think play was held up for quite as long. I think the decisions were very clean, very quick. But I just don't get how no one's noticed that. Like, it wasn't unintentional. Like, the guy literally got frustrated. You could see the frustration in his face. He's basically gritted his teeth, grabbed him by the throat, and fell down on his... Like, to me, I don't understand. Like I said, I'm not going to make the biggest deal out of it in the world, but how that is not a red card, I will never, ever know. Not even a yellow. And this guy was playing dirty for the whole game. If you guys noticed it, he was always giving guys cheeky digs, grabbing the shirts, pushing them, trying to wind them up. He was definitely trying to get in a few of these players' head. Did it work in the end? Maybe, because we got another talking point on the next one. I mean, we'll carry on with the list and then we'll talk about that one. So the next one was the Saliba mistake. I wrote it down as a Saliba mistake initially, because I did think he made the mistake. But having kind of watched it a few more times, I actually think David Raya give him a bit of a nasty one there, if I'm being honest. He plays him the ball, and initially it does look like he's got quite a bit of time to play that ball out. But I think it's actually Raya's mistake. There's literally 3 players hounding him down in all directions as well. So there's 1 in front of him and 2 either side. So it's like a triangle of Wolves player around William Saliba. And I don't think he could have done much better with that pass. Could he have played it slightly closer to the player? Yeah, but it's a game of angles, isn't it? And when there's 2 players bearing down on you, you just need to make the pass that has the highest success rate. And he must have thought that was the one, but it goes straight to the Wolves player. And like I said, maybe Saliba could have been slightly cleaner. Not just Saliba as well, by the way. There was a few of our defensive players that maybe made a few passes out that brought pressure on us. It was unneeded pressure. I think in other games we maybe could have been put to the sword a little bit. I think teams could have punished us, but I think Saliba got away with 1 or 2. I think Timber got away with 1 or 2. Our best defender on the night for me was Gabriel. But that Saliba mistake was just, we need to eradicate those as soon as possible. Let me know who you guys thought it was, because there's people out there saying it's Saliba, but I would probably lay the blame slightly more on Raya. Again, I'm certainly not going to slate him for it. I'm certainly not going to even give him any grief for it. I'm just saying it was a passage of play that I think we can talk about. And in terms of a mistake, we need to wipe those out, because against these next teams we know the fixtures Arsenal have got coming up. We've got Tottenham, we got Man City, we got Brighton, we got Villa. We got so many difficult games that we just need to be almost perfect in. And that's something that I looked at and I thought, okay, fair enough, it's happened. I'm not going to ridicule the players for it, but we definitely need to wipe it out before the next game. And then we got the Saka goal. We need to speak about Saka's left foot more, because it's almost getting to that Iron Robin level. Now, I'm not putting him there yet, but it's kind of to the point where people know exactly what Saka's going to do, don't they? Like, what's Saka going to do? If he's on the right-hand side of the box, he's not going to whip it in with his right foot. He's either going to beat the man and cross it in, or he's going to literally cut back in on his left foot and shoot. And I compare it to Robin because it's people know it's coming and they still can't defend it. Like, everybody know, Iron Robin, don't let him onto his left foot. And it's getting to that point now with Bukayo Saka. If you see Bukayo Saka on the ball near the box, what do you not do? Don't let him onto his left foot. But he must be so skillful in what he does. Like, he makes it seem simple at times. I know it's far from that, but it makes it look like he just pretends to go that way, cuts in on his left and whips it in. And there is definitely genius in the fact that he makes it look so simple, because no one can defend it. Like, we see it week in, week out from Bukayo Saka. He gets into that position and you think, try and get on your left foot. Try and get on your left foot. The defender's saying, I'm not letting you on the left foot. He gets onto the left foot and he scores. So Saka is getting to that level where it's just like, oh my, like, he's almost to the point where people can't defend him, which is just so impressive. Saka, really, really good. Partey, second half, got caught out quite a few times that I was thinking, is this just because Partey isn't fully up to speed yet? You know, we saw Partey miss large parts of the second half of last season. Is it a concern? In my opinion, no, because I think he looked good for the first half, and I think Partey is still in Arsenal's best midfield. I don't think this is an old player. Like, this, I'm not looking at Partey and saying we could massively upgrade you, because I don't think that's true. I don't think there's many players out there that can upgrade Partey, because, like I said, when he's on form and he's fit and he gets a consistent run of games under his belt, he is like so good. Like, you can compare him to whatever player you want, but he's right up there in terms of centre defensive midfield plays. He's up there with the very best in the world when he gets those run of games behind him and he's fit. He's got no injury worries. I'm hoping Partey don't feel down about that second half performance, because he done so much good in that first half. Hopefully, like I said, that second half performance doesn't make people start getting on Partey's back. I've definitely seen it on social media, and I'm thinking, why are you trying to call out this player? Like, he's had so much of last season that he didn't play, and he's kind of just trying to get his bearings again. Yeah, he had a bit of time back, but look, I'm not worried about Partey. I think he can still be a key member of this Arsenal midfield. And like I said, even if Mikel Merino does come in, I still think Partey, Rice and Odegaard might still be this best Arsenal midfield. I don't know about that. Maybe it will be Rice, Merino and Odegaard. I'll have to make that judgment call when I see Merino play properly. But as it stands, it's going to be hard for someone to take Partey out of that position, because he is so good. He does give us so much balance. He allows those players who are further forward to just do that. Do exactly that. Just get forward. Because Partey is such an anchor. He's so good. We know about the progressive through balls. Partey, I just wanted to mention it. Gabriel Jesus, again, he got a yellow card from that same player that basically, I don't want to be crude or anything in this video, but he basically touches his hole, doesn't he? Like, he grabs his cheeks, and I don't get how, because Jesus reacted and just said, get off me, and pushed him away because he was literally touching his hole. How's Jesus got booked for that? Maybe the referee didn't see exactly what the other player does, but hopefully that can get like rescinded or something, or like taken back, because Jesus getting a yellow card for that is almost criminal. He got harassed. Someone grabbed him in an area that I wouldn't want to be grabbed in, so I'm not surprised that Gabriel Jesus pushed him. But the fact Jesus gets a yellow card maybe just gives that guy who done it a one-up, as if to say, I've wound you up there, I got to your head or whatever, but I don't know. Again, that Havertz call and that Gabriel Jesus call were two calls that I was thinking, this ain't really good, is it? Like, that none of them should have happened. Like, he should have got a red card, and Gabriel Jesus probably shouldn't have got a yellow card. But there we go. And again, the Saka penalty, there's been quite a lot of discussion on that online, but again, I just don't think it was a penalty, if I'm being honest. I think Saka not bought it, like he should have gone down, but I think the way that he went down kind of made it look like he did dive a bit. He definitely didn't dive. There was connection, and if he kind of went down slightly more natural, which is always difficult to do because you're saying he got fouled, but you want him to go down more naturally. I understand how that sounds, but to me it just wasn't a penalty. There wasn't enough in it for me. I do think the player caught him. Could it have been given on another day? Maybe another referee would have gone that. But like I said, the way that Saka went down, which may have been the only way that he could have gone down, by the way. I'm not calling him a diver or anything like that. I know some people online have been. They're just trolls. But yeah, for me, it wasn't a penalty. I think Saka maybe could have stayed on his feet. And if not, maybe gone down slightly more naturally. But yeah, for me, no penalty. So that leaves us with the questions that I think people are going to inevitably ask about this Arsenal performance. Are Arsenal, or the way that Arsenal play in the second half, is that going to be good enough to beat these more, these better opponents? We're going to see that in the next few weeks, so I don't think it's a question that we're going to have to wait long to be answered. But there's something else that people are they're saying we need a forward, which for me seems difficult to accept, because we saw Havertz score. Like, he played up front, he got a goal and an assist. People are still saying we need a different dimension, which I can understand, by the way. We've had this discussion so many times saying Arsenal need that different look up front. Like, they've got Jesus, they got Havertz, which are two kind of technically players that like to drop deep. We just need that guy who can stay forward to get some more goals. And if that's the question, then the answer might be that Arsenal need a new forward. And Arsenal still could buy a new forward before the transfer window ends. I don't know. But if people are saying, based on those performances, that Arsenal need a new forward, then I don't think that's necessarily true. Like I said, Havertz scored 14 goals last season, which isn't a number to kind of turn your nose up at. He did play a large portion of last season as a number 8, so he hasn't had a full season being Arsenal's main number 9. And if he does play number 9 for the majority of Arsenal's games this season, I expect him to get close to 20 goals. People laughed at me last season when I said I still think Havertz's going to get 15 goals. Now he got 14, so he was basically nearly there, but I expected him to play further forward as well. So I think Havertz can get Arsenal 20 goals this season. Let me know if you guys agree. If not, do you still think, or are you still hoping that Arsenal bring in that other option up front, or maybe on the wings, just something slightly different to what we currently have? Let me know. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, just do me a favor, hit like on this video, just like it and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.